Here's a liability avoiding tip that many businesses miss. Let's say you have a small LLC or a small corporation, something you're growing. Maybe you're the only owner, maybe you have a business partner. What a lot of people miss is being clear about how they're doing business when they're interfacing with third parties. For instance, let's say you're going to sign a contract. I've seen many small LLCs and many small corporations have the business owner sign the contract in their personal name. So Joe Smith, the owner of the business, signs the contract as Joe Smith. That potentially puts Mr. Smith directly in the target should there be a contract issue. Mr. Smith might get sued for a breach of contract. Mr. Smith might get sued for claims around the contract. Oppose that to if it was signed as Smith Consulting LLC and it was very clear both in the document and the signature block that Smith Consulting LLC was signing the document. In that case, assuming there are not outside factors, a court should say that Smith Consulting was the party to the contract, not Mr. Smith, meaning that Smith Consulting would be the party sued in a lawsuit, and Smith Consulting would be the one that would face liability, would have the claims against it, meaning potentially that Mr. Smith's personal assets would not be exposed to the claim. This obviously is one of the very important reasons why people form LLCs and corporations. Now, of course, you're going to need to talk to a business lawyer in your state about the boundaries of that liability, how that works. But in general, one of the keys to avoiding liability that many business owners miss is just keeping that separation very clear in documents. In bank accounts, again, the bank account should be in the name of the LLC, Smith Consulting LLC, not Mr. Smith. Some people will open up a business account. Maybe they will do the right thing and keep their transactions separate from their personal transaction. But if that bank account is not titled in the name of Smith Consulting, again, we open up a whole host of potential liabilities. And we also see people do this when they get scared. One thing people do when they start to face a potential lawsuit or a potential problem is they may try to move assets around between entities, create new entities, or try to stick things within their personal assets so that they're not subject to business claims or vice versa. The problem with that, of course, these days is there are very good record keeping. I've been involved personally in working on cases where people attempted to shift assets, attempted to restructure after a liability claim attached. And I can tell you, when you start looking at bank statements, start looking at internal emails, start looking at records, it starts to become possible to trace that back. You need to be very sophisticated to get away from people seeing what you attempted to do after the fact. So the time to do things is at the beginning, to make sure you're doing things in the name of your business and you're doing everything your lawyer suggests to minimize your liability exposure. So make sure you have that meeting with your lawyer, you talk about these issues, and you start talking about how to dot those I's, cross those T's. Do you have general questions about business law? Please drop them in the comments. If you have suggestions for videos, we'd like to see that too. But remember that YouTube comments are not confidential, so do not place anything in there that you want to keep confidential or you don't want others seeing. If you enjoyed this video, we have a whole library of past videos about business law in the future video. I do recommend you go check it out. And make sure you subscribe to this channel for more tips on business law, and the future of business. I'll see you for another video very soon.